Hey, we're going to take a look at adding interest to open position chords, and specifically today, a G major chord. Now, you likely know a G major chord in open position. There we are, and the G major chord comes from the G major scale. And each of the notes of the G major scale have degree numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in one octave, going through 2 octaves, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The 7th always remains a 7, never called the 14. You've never seen a 14 chord, right? If you do, let us know, email us. So there's major 7, and there's our octave. So 13 degrees in the scale. The chord of G major uses the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th degree of the scale to make the chord. But what we want to do today is see what happens when we imply some of these other sounds, these other degree numbers, 6ths and 9ths and 11ths or 4ths, to the sound of the G major chord. And let's start with a 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 being the A note. And you'll see that the A note sits right beside the root note. And it just pulls against the root like crazy. It really sort of wants to fall back to that root. But if you don't let it, it's a lovely tension that just sits there. And it's a very easy chord to play technically, and a very modern sounding chord, you know. It really begins to sort of remove the 3-note kind of folkiness from the chord, and adds a real harmonically modern element to that chord, just with that simple implied 9th. Now, what do we call that chord? Well, let's call it an added 9th, because that's exactly what we did. We added a 9th to the 3-note chord of G major. Cool. Let's do the same thing with another note. How about the 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that in a bit of a context. Let me see if I can do one. By itself, the 6th is a little bit more of an innocuous sound, and you know, it's not as harmonically interesting as that 9th for sure, because it just sits above the 5th, right? It doesn't sit above the root of the key; it sits above the 5th of the key. But if we put it together, that 6th and 9th together, you can get some nice stuff there. Again, technically really easy. Making stuff up, but to demonstrate those sounds to you, there's hundreds of different phrases that you could do, tempos, whatever the case is. The next question is, are we still playing a G chord here? And the answer to that question is yes, we are. We're still playing a G chord. Doesn't change the function of a G major chord. We've got all of these colors in that G major chord to use, and when we add these colors, again, it's not technically difficult. It's not like, ooh, wow, this is, man, I can't do this. This is too hard. Especially if we just take this, you know, this one-finger version of a G major chord and add stuff to that one-finger version of a G major chord. Let's do the same thing one more time with the 11th or the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You will see in books, in guitar books and stuff, you'll see an 11th written, but most often you're going to see that 11 as a suspended 4th because they're the same note. So if we go G, A, B, C, right? So that's a C. That's a C as well. So the 4th and the 11th are the same note. The 4th, it acts as a suspension against the 3rd. So far we've had the 9th against the root, the 6th against the 5, and now we have this suspension against the 3rd. This note wants to fall back down to the 3. It's a great sound. It's often used, well, with the 6th and the suspension together, which essentially makes it a C chord. See, all playing with this whole idea of just adding interest to that open position G major chord. So far we've got the 9, the 6, little less tense, right? Much more passive resolution. And then this sus. And then all with just pinning down this 3rd finger, right? And last but not least, this is a really neat voicing of a major 7 chord. I really like it. And with your 2nd finger, and as I said at the top, it's not a 14th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but it's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, F sharp note, F sharp note. And so the same thing, there's our 3-note triadic G major chord, and we add the major 7 on top, and you get what a nice voicing of a major 7 chord. You know, a little bit. Leaning toward the, I don't know, sort of, well, less folksy for sure, but lovely sound. So to just review what we just did. 9, 6, sus, and major 7. Open position G major chord with some really nice harmonic tensions that we borrow from the scale of G major.